the 3 questions. In answer to the first question, different answers were given by different persons. Some people suggested that he must prepare a timetable and then follow it strictly. And in this way, he could do everything at its proper time. Perfectly, he can do everything. In his life, everything would be so disciplined. But others said, no, it's impossible. It was impossible to decide in advance the right time for doing something. Having or preparing a timetable, it's not possible. So what to do? One wise man gave the solution that the king should notice all that was going on. That was going on in his life at that time. He should focus on that. And most importantly, he should neglect foolish pleasures. Foolish pleasures means passing the time or enjoying the time not doing the important task. So like this, he should maintain a timetable. Without timetable, he could not do anything. So the second wise man said he should focus on important task. But the other said, no, it's not a good reply. The other said that the king needed a council of wise men. Council of wise men, a group of wise persons. They would help, advise and guide the king at its proper time. They would guide him what to do and what not to do. What would be the next task? They would advise him. This was because one man would find it impossible. For a person, it's impossible to decide something in a correct way. One could not decide anything that is correct for him to do what is next. So this is another reply of a wise man to the king. But then other said that there were some things which could be urgent in our life. Sometimes something very urgent, very emergency type work comes in our life. Then what to do? These things could not wait for the decision of the council. That time we could not wait for the decision of the council, what they would advise, what they would give the guidance. So we have to decide promptly at that time with using our mind, our conscience, our thought. So rejecting this reply, others said that to look into the future, only one person or one community people, they could decide the future, they could predict the future, they could see the future, and those are musicians. Musicians only can or could look into the future. So these are the replies of the first questions. Now there were too many replies to the second question and the third question. What are the replies of the second question? Some said, most importantly, the persons were for the king counselors. Some said, no, it's priest. No, it is doctors. And some said, no, soldiers were the most necessary. You could see the photo of the priest, soldier and doctor. To the third question, some said science or scientific research is the most important affair or the task or the work for the king. Some said no, he is a warrior, he is a fighter, so fighting is most important. Some said no, religious worship or the worship to God is important. As the answers to his questions were so different that the king was not satisfied. The replies could not satisfy the king at all. So he gave no reward to anyone. So, not becoming satisfied the answer he did not get, he decided to get to seek to find the advice of a certain hermit who was widely known for his wisdom. He was so knowledgeable person, he was a scholar. For this reason, he was living in a wood. He never left the wood ever. He wore simple clothes. He met only simple people. So the king had not worn designer, very beautiful clothes. He wore ordinary clothes, very simple clothes, because the hermit met only, or he used to meet only the simple, ordinary people. Before reaching the hermit's hut, he left his horse with his bodyguard and he went on alone. He had not taken his bodyguard himself. He had not taken his horse also. He left those outside of the hut and he went on alone to seek the answers to his questions. Thereafter, the king came near the hermit's hut. He saw the hermit digging the ground in front of his hut. He met the hermit in front of his hut. He greeted the king. The hermit greeted the king. Good morning. Like that, he greeted the king. But thereafter, he started his digging task again. The hermit was old and weak. Due to the age, he was breathing very heavily. He could not do the work, the digging, in a proper way. You can see the spade in the picture, and with this spade, the hermit was digging the ground. The king went up to the hermit. He went to the hermit and said about his questions, about his arrival, or about his purpose to come in the hut. He said that, I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer 3 questions. And those questions are, how can I learn to do the right thing at the right time? Who are the people I need most? And what affairs are the most important? So, like that, he asked too many questions. So, like that, he asked again about this time. The questions are written in a different way. This is the right thing, and the another question is the people, and the another question related is what affairs. So like that, he repeated the question in a different way to the hermit. The hermit listened to the king, but he did not speak. He did not speak anything. He continued his work. And thereafter, the king became so irresisted, so tired, and also so disturbed that he said that, the hermit, you are tired. Please give me the spade and I would do your work. What did he say? You are tired. Let me take the spade and work in your place. This time hermit replied, thanks, and he sat on the ground.